Back in 2015, a few of us went to International and had a wonderful time and saw these wonderful choruses that sort of inspired us anew to start something here in San Francisco that would be at that level. And so we were trying basically to think in that sort of few months between July International and the fall, how can we actually kickstart something like this that would have legs and actually continue?
There was no large group in San Francisco. There was no chorus that was particularly exciting to me, and being in the professional choral world in San Francisco, that seemed like an enormous gap.
So a few of us got together, made a very intense spreadsheet, listed 30 people that we thought would be basically high contributors right away we could just toss some music to. We chose 4 songs, sent it to 30 people. 28 or so of them said, I would love to try this, including some folks who were non-barbershoppers. We had selected a date and place, and we made our first few chords in that room just down the street.
So we wanted to start at a very high level and make sure that our supporting ecosystem matched the talent of the folks that were coming in. So that involved recruiting, that brought in a high level of talent, as well as coaches from within and outside of barbershop.
So in 2018, a couple of folks here in San Francisco who were singing in a women's chorus in the area came to me via email and said, hey, we've been thinking about starting a women's chorus in the Bay Area, in San Francisco in particular, that would be sort of inspired by and building upon the Fog City model.
I actually did some scouting. I approached Chris early on, like casually, and had just mentioned that I was interested, and then I sat down with Elisa and talked through some ideas, and then we went together to Chris.
We talked to Chris just about like, hey, like, what didn't work for you? What would you do differently if you could do it over? And it was such a valuable source of lessons learned and not starting from scratch.
They brought me like a stack of ideas at this coffee shop, and I simply said, yeah, just do that. Here's a couple of the folks you might want to meet to co-found this with you, and then they just took it from there themselves. And so we were almost like spectators of this entire creation process that was sort of inspired by what we had done, but very much in their own style.
Our very first list of people that we brought in was kind of sourced from people that we knew. And then we also sourced some of our original members from a list from Fog City Singers themselves. And I think that was the scariest thing for me, just waiting to see if anyone was gonna wanna sing with us and if they were gonna come in. And then after that, it's really been growing by word of mouth.
It has been so much fun to be singing in a genre that requires performance. I think I had done a lot of musical theater and a cappella when I was younger, and then as an adult had really only done classical choir, which is wonderful and musically fulfilling, but doesn't have that sort of whole body element that barbershop does. And I think that has been one of the things that's been the most fun to play with in the past few months, is just discover, you know, what I can do with so much more than just my voice.
When you're in your late 20s, early 30s, and that's about our average age in Harmonia right now, is about 30 years old. When you're in that age range, it's after you've done all the schooling, you're settling into your career, and sometimes you just feel like the only people you're gonna meet are the people that you work with. So it's nice to have that community of women that you can socialize with, but you can also like create beautiful music with and share those experiences with.
And I've loved seeing what ways we are similar and what ways they are hopefully improving on the mistakes that we've made early on, and what ways in which their culture is diverging from ours as well, and how that can mesh in our future projects together.
We want to be aligned on where we're taking the different choruses so that they don't diverge too far, and I think both of us really have an interest to get more involved in the greater community, and to do that together would be super cool.